Hi guys, we are back with another Chasing the Crawfords cruise tip video. And today we're going to be talking about cruising as an introvert.
Are you an introvert looking to take a carnival cruise? Well, in today's video, we have 7 tips that'll help you with the overwhelmness of the crowds and how to enjoy yourself on your cruise. Tip number one, find a place for some alone time. A lot of times as an introvert, you are overwhelmed by all that's going on. And plus, just with all the people there, it's going to be a lot. So you need to find some alone time.
So for me, a must is booking a balcony. That is my own little sanctuary where I can get away from the crowds. The sound of the water is kind of calming to me, and that's where I find my peace. Now, you can go to other places like the Serenity Deck, which is the adults only area on the ship. If your ship has a library, you can go in there. Just find somewhere where you can decompress.
Tip number two, choose the right cruise. By picking the right cruise, some cruises are what they call a party ship. That's going to be a lot of people trying to have an adventure out and about a lot, so that might not be the best cruise.
Definitely. Conquest is a party ship. So if you go on Conquest, don't really expect to have a lot of peace, a lot of quiet areas because you're not going to get it. Um, Mardi Gras, Celebration, those are ships that you may be able to like sneak off in a little corner and get a little bit of peace. But if you're going on the party ships, mostly out of Miami or New Orleans, you're going to have a rowdy crowd.
And that's a great point. Some of the smaller ships don't have as many nooks and crannies as the bigger ships, so picking a mega ship will help out a lot. Tip number three, choose the correct duration. There are ships that are 3 to 4 day itineraries, and there are ships that are 6, 7, 8 day itineraries. I think the longer ships would be better.
Yes. So your 3 day, 4 day itineraries are what's known as a booze cruise. Those are the short cruises. They're the cheapest cruises. They're usually on the weekend, so people don't have to use a lot of PTO. So they take off Friday and Monday. They get on those booze cruises, and all they want to do is turn up. When you get to the 7, 8 day itinerary, you're going to have less of a turn up type of crowd on those ships. And it's easier to kind of navigate and get away from the crowd and, find somewhere for some peace and quiet.
Tip number four, don't go during peak season. And by peak season, we mean holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, even Halloween, and summertime when the kids are out, spring break, and things like that.
Yes, spring break. We went on a spring break cruise in March of this year, and it was crunk on there. Okay, the children was acting a fool, the adults was acting a fool, everybody was acting a fool, and that was the one time we decided to book an interior. So there was no real escape because it felt like being in a cell, but I still had to go to my room and get away from those people because that was crazy. We also went during the summertime. Never again.
Yeah,
I will never go on a summer cruise again.
it was a lot of people. We usually go during the fall, so it's not kids are in school. Not as many people taking vacations, so we're not used to the ship being at full capacity. But in June, it was at full capacity. Now you could navigate. It was good enough, but it wasn't what we were used to.
Mm-mm. No.
If you're an introvert looking to go on a carnival cruise, click the link below, and we'll be glad to help you. Tip number five for introverts going on a cruise. You don't want to forget to bring something to do in your alone time. You may have a balcony, you may find a nook on Serenity Deck where you're by yourself, and for some people, just sitting there is fine, but a lot of people, that's not good enough.
So for me, I am an avid reader. I love to read a book. So before we even get on the ship, I get on Kindle Unlimited. I download all of my books. Make sure you download your books because if you don't get the Wi Fi package and you don't have your books downloaded, you're not going to be able to read them. I make sure I have my playlist downloaded before I get on the ship. And now my new obsession is Krusty Krab Cook Off on the Nintendo Switch. So listen, you got to find something to preoccupy yourself and kind of zone out a little bit after you've been around a crowd and your social battery has run down.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, even if you don't get the Wi-Fi and you forget, most of the time at ports you will be able to download some stuff. So like I podcasts, I don't read books. I more do audio books. But make sure you have all that stuff. Have your earbuds and all that stuff ready for you a long time. So I mean, sometimes you may want to just sit there, but a lot of times you want to zone out. Mm-hmm. Tip number 6: try a couple of new things, but don't try everything. You got to make sure you're pacing yourself because you're already overwhelmed with all that's going on a cruise anyway.
Yes. So the perfect example for me was our last cruise on Mardi Gras. Everybody who was with us were football fans. I don't care nothing about sports ball. But they were like, oh, let's go to the whatever Heroes Bar and watch the game. And as soon as we walked in there, those people were hooting and hollering and whistles and cowbells and noise. And I just froze in terror because it was so much noise and so many people that my body just kind of shut down. And I was like, I got to get out of here. I have got to get out of here. So we ended up leaving and we went to Brass Magnolia and it was like quiet there and I was able to kind of just chill out, have my little French 75 and mind my business. But if you're an introvert, those type of settings are not for you, especially if you maybe have social anxiety. It is going to overwhelm you. So listen, even if your friends want to do that, you let your friends do it and you go somewhere else and find you something else to do.
Tip number 7: research the ship and research the port before you go. This gives you a good idea of some areas you want to try out, some areas you maybe want to avoid, and when you're at the port, knowing some areas at the port that you want to do, just having your mindset on kind of a schedule or like having an idea of what you want to do will relieve some of that anxiety.
Yes. So definitely one, do some research on the deck map so you know where everything is. So maybe you know spots to avoid like Heroes Bar on football Sunday.
On Sunday.
Or if you're going to a port that you've been to multiple times, that is the perfect day for you to decompress by staying on the ship. There's going to be less people on the ship. So those are less people you have to come into contact with. You know, you're not going to have to wait in lines at places like that. And then also you can just stay in your room and chill out and it's not going to be as noisy on the ship because most people are at the port.
Mm-hmm. Sea days also. Don't forget, use sea days to recharge. Mm-hmm. That's a good bonus to have.
Yeah. All right, guys, that has been our 7 tips for cruising as an introvert. And if you'd like to get a little bit of footage of how we do this, check out our Mardi Gras series where we do utilize those sea days as recharging days.
Till next time.
Bye.
Peace.